A check obituary now brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg for pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Graveside funeral service for Patsy Joyce Baker, age 78, of Sylacauga, will be Friday at 2 o'clock from Harpersville Cemetery, with the Reverend Mark Deason officiating. Visitation from 1 until 2 at the Childersburg Chapel of Curtis & Son Funeral Home. And, of course, fond memories and expressions of sympathy can be shared with the family at curtisonfh.com. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing. Gary Lott, age 67, of Sylacauga, died January 21st. And a private family graveside service for Gary will be held. Visitation is this Sunday, January 30th, from 3 to 4 at Radley Smith Funeral Home, 320 North Elm Avenue in Sylacauga. Gary was well known in the area and passed away at the age of 67 on Friday, January 21st. Radley Smith Funeral Home, Sylacauga, directing. Visitation for Sarah B. Jeffcoat, age 98, of Childersburg, will be this evening 5 till 7 at First Methodist Church in Childersburg. Funeral service will begin with the body lying in state from noon until 1 on Friday, with a funeral service beginning at 1 p.m. Sarah will be laid to rest in Green Hill Memorial Gardens of Childersburg. That funeral service is at 2, and the wake, visitation will be at 1 o'clock, all at First Methodist Church in Childersburg. Visitation is tonight. The service is tomorrow, all at First Methodist Church in Childersburg. Curtis & Son Funerals Home in Childersburg, directing. Visitation for Sherry P. McDonald, age 65, is today from noon until 2 o'clock at Curtis & Son North, followed by a funeral service at 2 with Brother Mark Deason officiating. Burial in the Tallahatchie Cemetery. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, directing. Private service will be held for Sybil Marie Maddox, age 79, of Sylacauga, who passed away January the 19th at her residence. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, directing. Visitation for Mary Virginia Moats, age 88, will be at Curtis & Son North on Saturday at 11 a.m., followed by a funeral service at noon with interment in the Highland Cemetery. Online condolences at curtisonfh.com. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing. Funeral and burial services are set with military honors for Herdicine Easley, age 55. That service will be on Monday at 2 p.m. from Alabama National Cemetery in Montevallo, with the Reverend Clint Walker, the pastor of the Bethel Missionary Baptist Church, officiating. Due to COVID-19 protocol, including social and physical distancing guidelines, attendance is for immediate family members and designated close family friends. Miss Easley died January 12th at Birmingham Veterans Administration Medical Center. She was a native of Alpine and graduate of Childersburg High School in 1984. Aubrey Bushlawn, funeral directing and crematory services, in charge of the arrangements. S.M. Goodson Funeral Home and Crematory will announce the arrangements for Phyllis F. Shields, age 60, who passed away Tuesday, January 25th. Mrs. Leela M. Bishop, age 57, of Jackson's Gap, died Sunday, January 23rd at Russell Medical Center. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Armours Memorial Funeral Home. Miss Dorothy Maxine Simmons died Wednesday, January 24th. Funeral arrangements to be announced later by Wright's Funeral Home. Marjorie Ruth Herring Martin died January the 18th at Cahaba Ridge Assisted Living Facility in Vestavia Hills. A memorial service will be held January 30th at 2 o'clock from First Presbyterian Church in Talladega, with the Reverend Leanne Scarborough officiating. Ms. Martin's cremated remains will be buried in Oak Hill Cemetery in Talladega. Ms. Martin was a registered nurse and a member of First Presbyterian Church in Talladega. In lieu of flowers, donation can be made to the First Presbyterian Church in Talladega or to a favorite charity of your choice. Online condolences at urseryfuneralhome.com. Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega, directing Ms. Martin at one time was a registered nurse at Citizens Hospital in Talladega, and also worked as an RN in Randolph County for some 20 years. Homegoing celebration remembering the life of Mrs. Emma Jean Smith, age 80, of Lincoln, is today at 1 o'clock from Holy Hill Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ, with District Elder Lavelle Smith officiating. Interment in the Holy Hill Cemetery. S.M. Goodson Funeral Home Crematory, Talladega, directing. Homegoing celebration remembering the life of Mrs. Cat Twyman, age 98, of Talladega, is Friday at 2 o'clock from Mount Canaan Baptist Church, with the Reverend Dr. Horace Patterson officiating. Interment in the Oak Hill Cemetery. Public viewing for Ms. Twyman will be today, 3 to 7 o'clock, at the funeral home. S.M. Goodson Funeral Home and Crematory, Talladega, directing. Funeral service for Larry Poppy Wayne Manus, age 83, of Sylacauga, is today at 2 o'clock from Radley Smith Funeral Home Chapel, with the Reverends Paul Vick and Brother David Vick officiating. Burial in the Fayetteville Cemetery. Flowers will be accepted, or contributions can be made in Poppy's memory to the Fayetteville Volunteer Fire Department. Radley Smith Funeral Home directing. And Joseph Blue Nathaniel Crosby, age 39, died January 22nd. The family will accept friends today with a memorial service at 1 o'clock at Talladega Funeral Home. In lieu of flowers, the family has asked that donation be made to the PETA organization, Talladega Funeral Home, in charge of the arrangements. This obituary report this morning courtesy of Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg for pre-need funerals, burials, and cremation since 1975. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.